Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
Yes, welcome. You know the drill, okay? We usually start with a prayer for today, and we're getting it from our Trailblazer journal. That is a daily prayer, a planner, and a business workbook, okay? And for me, this is quite soothing. This is not challenging, but it helps me press forward in my journey, in the intellectual growth, in the spiritual growth, in the physical growth, in the social growth, and every area of my life. And today's prayer says that in the midst of your challenges, may you rest in knowing that your answer is coming. May your anticipation bring you happiness and not anxiety. May you remember you are a child of God and God's got your back. May this day be a turning point towards something amazing. And wouldn't it be amazing if we anticipated? You know, anticipation creates enthusiasm in our lives, that yes, we anticipate, we expect that it's going to be a good day, or it's going to be a good week, or it's going to be a good month. And what you do in anticipation actually leads you to what you are actually expecting, or your expected results. And I pray this over you. I pray this over your family, over your children, over your business, that whatever it is you are anticipating in this season of your life, that may you rest in knowing that the answers are coming, and that God has your back, and that everything that you do and everything that is happening is going to work together for you as a person and as a child of God. Yes, and so welcome to this beautiful episode, where we get to talk about life, where we get to talk about how to live it, but mostly how to thrive, how to flourish, how to live in the abundance of what God has planned for us, and then how to live on the highest side of our potential. Because if God is the greatest designer, He designed us with a purpose in mind, and that purpose is that you will fulfill it in your life or in your season of life, okay? And so if you've not found that, that is why we are here, so we can find our purpose, we can find our passion, and we can be able to do exactly what we were created to do. But when you do what you were created to do, what it does is it accelerates your life, and you thrive and flourish, and you don't just struggle. And even when you struggle and the hurdles come and the problems come, you're easily dissecting into the problems just to find out, or you are solution oriented. A person that has purpose is solution oriented. A person without purpose, however, is problem-oriented, and one who who builds around a pity party for themselves, or one who plays a victim. Why? Because then everything is happening to you. But a person that has purpose, everything is happening for them. When I meet hurdles, when I meet problems, it's not that I'm immune to them. I meet the challenges, I meet the problems, I meet the hurdles. But for me, that is a stretching, okay? That is an increment in my ability, in my potential. If I can only go through that, I will come out the other side of the tunnel. I can cry for a night, but joy will come in the morning. So that means because I have purpose, I am passionate about life, I show up every day wanting to do one thing that brings me closer to what God created me to do. Let me tell you, I don't frame problems the same way everyone frames problems. And I want you to look at your life. Some of you, we are in the same boat. You don't look at problems as problems. But there are people who look at hurdles, an end of a season, an end of a year, an end of anything that is happening in their lives, and they're like, oh my God, I am dead. Even their hands on the head, I am dead, I am finished, this is it, I don't think there's a way through. But that's not the truth. That's not how it's supposed to be, okay? So I need us to move with a lot of deliberacy, with a lot of willfulness, and with a lot of vigilance when it comes to moving with our lives. And today what I really felt on my heart to hint on or to talk about is something very simple. We've talked about dreams, but I wanted to talk about the dreams that are our time wasters, or if we chase them, we end up regretting. Because where there is a positive, there is always a negative. Now we've talked about chasing after your dreams, chasing after, and you realize mark my words, we say your dreams. We do not say chase after your family's dreams. We do not say chase after your church's dreams. We don't say chase after, you know, so-and-so's dream, okay? But we are saying chase after your dream. And what I usually say is you position yourself that even when ultimately you are building another person's dream. Say, for example, you go to work in a company, and that company has an agenda. For example, for the people that work with us, we have an agenda, and our agenda as Spirit Media or as Spirit Media Group is to be able to spread the gospel. Our agenda is to advance the kingdom. Our agenda is to touch lives, to motivate, to inspire, to inform, to transform. Okay, now even when people come and join us, all the people the beautiful people that you know that we work with, both at the front side and on the back side, because we have the talents, we have the not the producers are on the backside, but we have the talents, we have the presenters, we have the hosts, we have the DJs, we have the people that you see on TV, on the people that you hear on listen to on radio, and then we have the producers, we have the camera people, we have the people that work in the creative, we have, and all of them. I actually this morning was just walking into office and I was looking at most of the people that work with us, and they are young people. Like, it's a media house filled with young people that have beautiful dreams, that have beautiful passions, that have purpose, that are just, you know, positioning themselves, that in as much as they are joining our venture to be able to advance the kingdom, they also have dreams of them of their own, dreams to become big one day, dreams to become the best videographers, dreams to become the best producers, or dreams to even build to build production companies of their own, dreams to be the best graphics designers or motion graphics personnel, and maybe to even have a company of their own. So you realize that we tell you that chase after your dream, that even when you join a bigger dream, yes, you are working towards advancing. That is the season of your life where you can work and contribute towards advancing another person's dream, but you do not forget about your dream. Okay, so even when you are in employment, do not forget about your dream. While you advance another person's dream, while you build another person's vision, okay, make sure that you also strategically position your dream. That is why I usually tell the people that we work with, we usually have these conversations, and we're like, you guys, you will outgrow us at some point. You will have to move on. Maybe this is even a pathway to your greatness. Maybe this is not where you're going to end. It's possible that God has given us your passion and your capability and your potential to steward it for 1 year, for 2 years, but you're headed for something different. Maybe this is just a pathway to your greatness, and we have those moments that we share that. But if this is a pathway, that means we are like a conduit, and that is why I usually call upon fellow leaders and company owners to know that you are stewarding the hearts and the potential and the ability of people, because that is not their end. It's possible that's not their end. While it's also possible that there are certain hand-picked people that are supposed to actually even advance that vision a lot further and to live with the legacy of that vision. Now, that is not what we are going to really dwell on today, but we're talking about dreams, and the common dreams you will regret chasing in your life if you are not careful. Okay, the common dreams, okay, the bandwagon dreams that you will end up regretting if you do not change, if you do not take a pause, if you are not attentive, if there is a lack of focus, or there is a lack of redefining what your dream is and what it is you should be chasing in this season of your life. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I made a statement here and say that if it keeps you busy but will hurt you someday, it's something that you will regret. Don't sell yourself short. If it keeps you busy but will hurt you someday, it's something you will regret. Don't sell yourself short. I need you to be able to reflect on the dreams or the things that you do that are keeping you busy, and maybe one day you will regret. Because let's talk about the things that we regret. The things that we regret are things that never built us. The things that we regret are things that never upheld us. The things that we regret are things that wasted our time. The things that we regret are things that while we were doing them, we were unsettled, we did not feel comfortable, we did not feel like a sense of belonging, like there is a loathing, an agitation, an irritation, every step of the way, like you can't look back and say it was worth it. But let me tell you the other angle to that. There is an angle where you are not comfortable, but you are growing. I don't know whether you really understand what I'm talking about. You're not comfortable. Let me just give an example. You are at a job, okay? And you feel like, maybe I should be somewhere else, maybe I should. But again, there's a skill that you are getting. There is one of the people that actually works with us was telling me, I was like, you know what, by the time I leave this place, I want to have fully maximized. I started as a control transmission person. I've done something with managing content, and now I've also been a talent on air and you know, presenting and all that. But now my quest is to learn how to operate a camera and to be able to you know, to be able to do videography. And then after that, I will learn how to edit. And then after that, she was like, I want to be able to maximize that by the time my time comes to leave this place, at least I will have learned so many things. And you realize that with such a person, sometimes you don't even need too much money. And another one actually approached me and said that I nearly know what to do everywhere in this company. I know exactly how to do everything that is being done here, but I think there is one thing that I have not learned, that is editing. And so he was like, okay, now what? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a person that really edits in the same company, and I will just give him a facilitation of some sort so that he can teach me how to edit, because I know I will need this skill where I am going. So you realize that even when they meet hurdles, even when maybe they're working against odds, there are certain companies you go to and literally you are really just surviving or just sinking. Like there's a lot of, you call them bukokola, there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of bickering, there's a lot, and you know where mature people are, you all look like children who are 6 years old who have been taken to the zoo. Like the whole company can have a bit of fracas and a bit of drama, so you realize that even when you go through the hardest of drama and the odds are against you, there is something that you look back at and you're like, you know what? I don't see the drama. What I see is what I was able to get from that. My time was not wasted. While I was there, I developed some competences. I developed some skills. Or I dreamt better. Or sometimes, by the way, what betters us are the people in that surrounding. That they challenged you to become a better person. And you're like, you know what? I did not waste 10 years of my life working with so and so. That person could be rude. The whole world could be saying all the bad things about them. But again, they built my resilience. They built my capacity to bounce back. So you realize that if it keeps you busy, but it will hurt you someday, it's something you will regret, don't sell yourself short. I want you to be able to audit your life and be able to take that into account. But number one of the dreams that we are talking about today is the dream of overcoming the odds in an unsupportive environment. And that is where I say, when you are in an environment that is totally unsupportive, or an environment that is totally ruining you and tearing you apart. Now, if you dream and say, someday I am going to overcome the odds. Because when you talk about unsupportive, it ranges from people, okay? It ranges from the kind of job that you do or the kind of designation that you're into, the department that you're into. But remember, the unsupportiveness comes from human beings, not even from systems, not from machines, but from human beings, okay? And there is unsupportiveness that comes and you feel like, you know what? no, I can deal with this. It's low key. I can deal with this, okay? Let me not be emotional. Let me not take everything personal. Let me just decide to thrive, mind my own business, stay in my docket, stay buried in my work, stay in my lane. Now, there is a certain low key kind of unsupportive environment where you can choose to thrive on your own. But there is the extreme. Remember, what I deal in day and night, I mean 24/7, is really highly antagonistic relationships. Now, there is a level of being antagonistic or being narcissistic or toxic that you cannot grow, you cannot thrive, you cannot flourish, okay? So even if you tell yourself that, you know what, it's like the married people that stay in an unsupportive environment, and the source of unsupportiveness is actually your spouse. Just imagine. Now, and you think that you have worked 5 years with them or 10 years with them, but you still have the hope that these people are actually going to change, especially if they are narcissistic and toxic, okay? Because other traits can change, but narcissistic, they're very egocentric. Everything centers and revolves around them. Everything, I mean, they're all about insulting you and, you know, tongue twisting your words, gaslighting you and all that. So to expect that they're going to change and to expect that you're going to thrive, I have met so many people and they're like, you know what, he will change. And I'm like, yeah, let me know if they ever change. I need you to be ever get back to me. Some people have gotten back to me 10 years later, and they say that, you know what, when I met you 10 years ago, everything you said was right. And let me tell you, 10 years passed now. It's actually more of a hell than it was before. And now, most of them actually call me after they've made their own decisions to just move on with their lives. But they have wasted 10 years, 5 years of their lives thinking, I am going to beat these odds. I am going to overcome these odds. I am going to be that one person that everyone looks at and thinks that, you know what, things are possible, okay? So you crucify yourself wanting to save other people. And sometimes we don't make those decisions very early in our lives because we are people pleasers, okay? Because you're like, now I quit. Now, just imagine you have a very toxic leader, very narcissistic leader, and all of a sudden you're like, now I change, where do I go? This is the only this is the only place that has been paying me, and how will I sustain myself? And some people just don't get tired. And I usually tell people, unfortunately, my line of work in therapy, not just this personal growth angle, in therapy is in narcissistic relationships and highly antagonistic relationships. And so when someone says, okay, I will beat the odds, we definitely take the route of preparing them to be able to beat the odds. But in order to beat the odds, you have to be less than yourself. You cannot go at it the natural way. You cannot be authentic and beat the odds. So this is what we actually train you to do, to be deliberately selfish, to choose yourself, to choose your joy. But that means being not being loyal and sometimes being utterly disrespectful, standing for yourself, and, you know, being able to make sober choices about yourself and not bending every time they tell you bend, and not jumping every time they tell you to jump, and not coughing every time they tell you to cough. That means that you are going against the ideology of the narcissistic person and you're going against the ideology of the toxic person. In order for you to be able to live with them, you have to change yourself into another category of person so that you can go at loggerheads with them. Otherwise, if the authentic you, for those of you that have followed me for so long, I have said that to deal with a narcissistic person, or narcissistic people have also things that they're attracted to. They're attracted to generous, like overly generous people, overly godly people, you know, people who, you know, I will pray, I will do this, I will do, they can never make decisions that they are too godly, okay? And then people who are really people pleasers, and sometimes they're attracted to, by the way, high achievers, okay? Like alpha females, high achievers who have done something for them. And even the reverse is true. When it comes to the women, they also target such kind of men. Very generous, very godly, very good with personal morals. Why? Because when they turn on you and they start doing bad things, then you are going to be too compassionate and too patient. That is why you see that most people stay in narcissistic relationships for the longest time. And then they get out of those marriages when they are 40, when they, actually not 40, 45 and above, when they are clearly old and they are tired, they are exhausted, and they have given 20 years of their time, or to 15 years, or sometimes they get out at 50 and they've given maybe 20 years of their time to someone, and to someone who didn't see value even in the years that they were given. So you realize that one of the dreams that we should stop chasing, if we are really careful about our lives, is to say that I am going to overcome the odds in an unsupportive environment. And this is what I usually tell my clients, that someone can be patient today and they can be patient tomorrow, and they will be patient even the other day. But the heart has a way of getting to a place where enough is enough. Like every heart gets to that place, every heart. Now, even the person that you see that you have mistreated for so long and it's still there, maybe they are people pleasers, maybe they are too generous with their time, maybe they're facing indecisiveness in their own lives, maybe they are not even, exposed enough to know that this will never change. But let me tell you, their heart will grow weary, it will grow tired. And so that means them saying, you know what, I will beat the odds, I will overcome the odds in this unsupportive environment. Even if it's a boss, your people will get tired. They will get tired. Okay, and people will come only to make money, but even the money will fail. They'll be like, you know what, it doesn't matter how much I get from that workplace, it doesn't matter what I get from working with that person, I just don't think that is good energy for me to face every day. I don't think I have it in me, coupled with all the problems, the other hurdles that I have in my personal life, to just withstand someone who has just decided to become a thorn in my life and to become a prick in my life, and to just become someone that is full of drama, left, right, and center. I don't think I can sustain that. That takes a lot of energy for someone to sustain. And they can sustain that maybe when they are young, maybe they're in their 20s, they've just come out of campus, fresh out of college, and they have a lot of dreams, and they have maybe that person can work for you for maybe 2 to 5 years, but after they settle into the job market, or after they settle into whatever it is that they settle into, they'll be like, you know what, this is just not worth it. It is exhausting, it is taxing, it is frustrating, the drama is just not yielding, it's the results. I don't think I can grow in such an environment, okay? So some of the dreams that you will regret chasing is you lying to yourself, I am going to overcome the odds in an unsupportive environment. An unsupportive environment, just imagine, even if it were a plant. We've talked about apples so many times, and apples just don't grow on any kind of soil. So you realize that most of the apples that we get here in Kampala are apples from Cape Town, apples, South Africa, and then a bit of Kenya. I think they have an area where they grow apples. Now in Uganda, we've tried that in Kabale, but still we get poor quality. So that means it matters which ground you are planted in. So if you say that, you know what, I'm going to beat these odds, I'm going to grow in this salty ground, in this stony ground, in this rocky ground, you realize that your roots can't go far. You realize there are no nutrients in that soil for you to grow. You realize that there is no supportive weather for you to be able to grow, to bear the fruits that you need to bear. And even the Bible talks about that we will be like plants that were planted, or trees that were planted by the waterside, that they bear fruits in their own season, and that their leaves stay green in season and out of season. And you see, even their roots have gone deeper to the water banks, that they cannot be shaken, they will not wither, but they will give fruit in their own seasons, and that they will be green in all seasons. So for you to say that I am going to overcome these odds and grow in a place that is unsupportive, and grow in soils that don't have the nutrients, or even cannot favor the growth of that particular fruit, that is a lie, and that is a dream you should never chase. Okay, so let's take a few seconds, and as you think about that, chew on it, and audit your life, find out what's happening, where have you settled, what have you promised yourself, and then come right back. Let's complete this chat.
Spirit TV, a place for you.
Did you know that you can acquire a skill in less than 3 months? Dynamic Media School skills you in TV and radio presenting, motion graphics, graphics designing, control room management, show production, audio production, confidence building, lighting and videography, personal branding, social media management, cinematography, video editing, marketing and sales, and effective communication. This is designed to provide practical skills and hands-on experience with the focus on developing critical thinking, research, and communication skills. You will have access to high-quality learning materials, including online lectures and other resources, as well as a dedicated team of facilitators and influencers who are available to assist you with any questions or concerns that you might have. Enroll today. Call 0702 021 834 or WhatsApp 0760 881 331. Dynamic Media School is an excellent choice for anyone looking to start or advance their career in this exciting and dynamic field. You don't get the life that you deserve, but that which you decide. It's time for you to decide to dominate your life. You don't do that by just having passion, you need a plan. Let's show you how you grow practically in character, competence, and in other areas of life. Welcome back to Bahati.
Welcome. I hope that you took the seconds or the few minutes just to make sure that you think, you're like, you know what, where have I promised myself that I will beat these odds, and yet I do not have the full data. Sometimes we promised ourselves that we are going to beat the odds in our dreams in an unsupportive environment without making a full audit about what it means to be in an supportive environment. Let me tell you, an unsupportive environment is the worst thing that you can be in. I know that you can grow, you can be trained, but still you need a bit of time to breathe. You need a little bit of support for you to grow. You can't grow utterly in an environment that is completely destroying you. That is why some people are getting depressed. That is why some people are anxious about tomorrow. That is why some people are stressed in the moment. That is why some people become, and you know, when you stay in such an environment, it's contagious, that you start becoming unsupportive to other people because you were given the same currency, now you're giving out the same currency. So be very careful which environments you are into and the dream that you are chasing. Number 2, the dream of eventually finding your passion someday. This is what someday I'm going to find my passion, or I'm going to find my purpose. Even for all my mentees in the accelerated mentorship, I've usually say that we do not find our purpose, we unveil our purpose, because the purpose is already inside of us. The blueprint has already been built. Like God has already created us with everything and every ingredient that we will never ever need in life. So that means that we are inclined to certain things, we gravitate towards certain things, we love certain things, and that is all indicators. God positions all this, the gravitating, the attraction, the love for certain things as indicators to what we are comfortable with and what we were created for. So that means we unveil. And one of the ways that I've told my mentees over years is that we do not just stick to one thing and then say, but this is my purpose and this is what I'm supposed to do. One of the ways we unveil our purpose is by doing multiple things, doing different things, and then you find where your heart is gravitating. Naturally, you don't have to force it. You can do it without payment. You can do it without anyone clapping for you. Like, you feel a sense of satisfaction when you do it, as in you feel you want to go for it even when there is no support or when there is no what, but it's something that you think about. It's something, and you can think about it this year, you think about it next year, you think about something that is not your purpose. Even if you stick to it, you will eventually get tired and you'll let it go. Now, even when it comes to passion, we don't get the dream of someday, because some of us are living in someday. How about we turn and start living now? Okay, how about we start being passionate every day about the things that we do? Whether it is to do journaling and scheduling your day, you do it with a lot of passion. You wake up with passion. Whatever it is that you're preparing with passion. And by the way, sometimes these days we are in an information era, where there's so many different small courses, and so you don't need to waste time, because back in the days we would waste time for 3 years going for a college degree that you will never use. Like, you are not passionate about it. It is not in line of your purpose. It is not in the line of your calling, but you have wasted 3 years only to discover, I cannot do this. That's what I did for my the IT, because I couldn't do hardware and software, wake up every day to, as in, I was like, no, this is not my thing. No wonder I had to branch into business. And after business, that is how I came back and just decided to unveil what was inside of me, because now I had taken time to find out that, by the way, I love helping people. That even when I was an introvert, and I was like, but how am I going to help people? I love keeping to myself. I don't love talking to people. I don't love, but whenever I got a microphone, I would come alive. Okay. And so through preaching in church, through, doing multiple things, I discovered that this is what I want, and that is how I had to start a whole journey of going back to school and making sure that I do what I really love. So that idea of someday I will find my passion, no. I want you to cross it out. That is a dream that you are going to regret, because 50 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and it's going to be a wasted year, wasted years. Why? Because then you're like, but I've not found my passion. And sometimes we think of a passion looks how? No, passion is supposed to be in and around everything that you do. Okay? You can be passionate about your children. You can be passionate about your husband. You can be passionate, as in romanticize your life, okay? Live in the moment, be present, because you are building something. And so many of us, we are building the lives that we want, but again, we are not attaching attention and a sense of focus. Why? Because we are thinking someday, so you have a picture of someday, but you are not creating the picture that you want to see today. You don't know whether you're going to live past today, or you don't know whether you're going to live past tomorrow. So why are you in someday and someday that never comes, but you are wasting that today that is, and the opportunities that you have to love on the people that love you, to concentrate on your family, to love them passionately, to put on passionately, to speak passionately, to liaise and create friendships that are passionate, okay? As in, you can make everything around your life passionate. So I need you to be able to not just press a pause button, but to delete the whole idea of someday, okay? The dream of eventually I will find my purpose someday. I want you to be able to bring it to today and be able to know, what am I passionate about? For example, it's possible that you're passionate about journaling. It's possible that every close of the day, you just love sitting there with a cup of hot coffee and just writing what happened in the day and all that. Or you just love, listening to music. Or you just love, as in, what are you passionate about? You can even be passionate about prayer. I know I am passionate about prayer. And in this season, I think I am more passionate about prayer than I have ever been in my life. Okay, so I even block time. Like today I was arguing with my daughter in the car, and I was telling her, she was telling me she wants to watch The Little Mermaid. It's a movie or a cartoon that she watched, and she was like, okay, if I can't watch it, then can I just listen to the song? And I remember telling, she's like me, when we like something together, we will put it on replay until. So she told me, but mommy, put it again. I was like, no, your turn is done, because right now I'm just crossing over into worship. Even when we are driving to school, I am just turning into worship. I want to have a moment of, we want to have a moment of prayer. So you realize that you can put passion into everything. Have you seen people that cook with passion? As in, you don't have to wait someday that, one day, and so many of us have like that. And this is what we have done. We keep looking at people's Instagrams, and then you are living a different reality, but you have a someday of a passionate life, okay? So some of you are like, you see a certain bedroom on Instagram, and you're like, oh, someday my bedroom is going to look like that. What does it take for your bedroom to look like, to look, and it doesn't have to look like any other, it has to look like what you really want, okay? So that means the someday should go out of the picture. You should be able to ask yourself and plan your way and say, you know what, I want this to look like this, and I want this in this season of my life, this is how I want it to be. If you're cooking, you don't say, oh, but one day when I when I get this, I will cook this. What's stopping you now? Go ahead and incorporate it in your life. You know, one day I will take I will go on a vacation with my children. You don't need to go out of the country to go for a vacation, and you don't need to go to huge things and what. Sometimes all you need to do is be dynamic and be creative, that by, you know what, we're just going to spend one night out, or we're just going to go to the beach and back. That is an outing. It is done. We will go to the zoo and back. As in, let's not complicate life, and let's not attribute life to someday it will be better. You know, someday I am going to lose weight and I'm going to look nice. What are you doing right now? Okay, so I need us to stop chasing some of those dreams that we are going to regret, because then we arrive and we don't know when someday is. So you arrive at 5 years from now or 2 years from now, and you look back and you have never lost that weight. Why? Because according to you, someday that you did not name, that you did not. So I stopped doing that. I used to have that, oh, next week, I will start my fast next week. Until I was like, but why don't I start my fast? Do I have to start a fast every fresh Monday? I know some of you are laughing because you have done that. So now, if I feel the thirst and the urge and the conviction to fast and pray, I will not wait for a Monday. If I feel it on a Saturday, I will actually start. And by the way, for me now, this is the level I am on, that it's possible I will feel the urge to fast after I've had breakfast. And guess what? I will start my fast then. I do not have to wait until a fresh day where I have not eaten. That is where you should personalize your relationship with God, and not just wait, someday I will do that. No. I want you to stop chasing the dream of someday and start activating the dream and the passion of today, okay? Live passionately. If it's to how you look, if it is how you put your hair together, if it is how, let me tell you, budget. You can eat good on budget. You can stay in a nice house on budget. You can, as in, everything is figure outable and everything is doable. So stop saying someday. Find your passion in the smallest of the things that you are currently doing. Immerse yourself in them. Enjoy them, okay? And have fun while you are doing them. Okay, and sometimes just imagine you're saying, oh, but someday, my children, I will do this. They are growing. So someday could be 5 years to come, and you have missed the 5 years of their lives where they were in their tender age, where you could run and scream, and all of a sudden, they also grow and get into moods where now they just want gadgets and they are just to be in their bedrooms, and they don't want you anywhere in their lives. I have seen them where you were, oh, hug, kiss, and then all of a sudden time comes when you ask for a hug, they're like, but mommy, no. And you're like, when did you grow to refusing my hug? So let me tell you, enjoy the joys of your passionate life right now and put full-blown passion into it. That is why I've said to so many parents that sometimes we demand so many things after these children have grown up, but the things that we did not passionately plant into their lives and strategically plant into their lives. So if you want to hug your child at 30 and at 20, and I have seen this with my mother, the things that we do with her right now are things that she has done with us and with a lot of passion. If it's to worship together, like sitting around in the sitting room and us just diving into a good old song, like has always been a norm in our family. And we will sing those weird, crazy old songs, and we will feel soaked in Jesus, and it will just feel so nice. But why? Because she has done that in season and out of season. When we are fine and when we are not fine, she's been that person, to the extent that, I get any issue, even if my husband gets any issue, the first person he calls is my mother, because he knows that she is there. My mother-in-law could be far, but his mother-in-law, because my husband is actually more of a friend to my mother. And most of the times, the passion with which we operate as a family, that has taught me a lot, that if I ever want to have that closeness with my children after they are grown, then I should be able to strategically find ways of being passionate and positioning things in their lives that I will want to do with them even when I am older. Number 3, and the last one, the dream of achieving success just as other people have defined it. Oh my goodness, that is the biggest misconception. Let me tell you, when I was growing up, I've said it so many times, my parents didn't know what I had to do because they were not really exposed to the syllabus and the curriculum. My mother has never gone to school. My father has gone to school but has gone to school in Kenya, so he didn't know much about here. And then all of a sudden we got friends who told us, but IT is the new thing. Now I signed up for IT without knowing what I was signing out. So you realize that some people sell us the dream of their of their success, and yet we need to redefine our own levels of success. Now what happened is definitely we went through IT, went into business, and things were just not working out. But as we were growing, there was a definition of success that if it was low-key, people would not discuss about it, but you had to go to university, go to secondary, go to university, graduate, get a good paying job in a good organization with a steady check that came in every month. And so there you would be counted amongst the successful people. So if you're the kind who was hopping from an NGO to another, small startups and something like that, like something was just not adding up because your money was low and there was not steady coming of the check, and you were just not that person. So you realize now I come back and take myself to school after I realize that I really need to go. If I need my siblings to be better and to be able also to accomplish something, I need to show them the example. I come back to school. So I go back to school, and then while I'm in my second year, I decide that I want to do private practice. Like seriously, I had never seen anyone with a private practice. I had just read about it. I remember even told that then my mentor and told him that I wanted to do a private practice, and I was like, but I've never seen a private practice in your line of work, in your line of passion here. And I was like, I'll be the first to do it. I remember he even sent me a name while he was on his plane going back to his country. It's like, how about Life Fix? I was like, yeah, I'm grabbing onto that. I'm holding on to that. So I started Life Fix as a counseling and a therapy center when it comes to counseling and marital counseling and family counseling and stuff like that. So you realize that now I broke the norm, that my family knew different, the people around me knew different. There was this criteria everyone had to go through, but I refused to fit into that criteria because I promised myself in my second year that I'm not going to go with my, let me tell you, with my CV requesting for a job anywhere, which I have never done, never in my life. That I have printed a CV, I have taken it somewhere, I'm looking for a job. I decided in my first year after going back to campus that, by the way, I am not going to work for anyone, I'm going to work for myself, and I'm going to decide my paycheck, I'm going to decide how much money I earn, I'm going to decide how often I travel, I'm going to decide the things. So those things looked like a dream because the time that I was mentioning them, I didn't have anything to eat. I didn't have even transport to Kampala. I didn't even have a job. So when I walked to town that day when I didn't have anything to eat, and that is when I got the offer to be on radio and to have 2 minutes of radio. And let me tell you, I would commit myself to those 2 minutes on radio. Like it meant like 5 hours in a day. I would record, and that is on radio. That is how NTV gets to know about me. That is how Bouquet Day, that is how all these TV stations, Urban and what, NBS and what, they get to know about me. That is how they start calling me. That is how my clientele starts growing. I am doing therapy, one-on-one therapy. I'm doing group coaching, and then I'm doing public speaking until, everything broke even to creating an institute that is Accelerated Mentorship Academy, where I have, graduated more than 500 people in their line of passion and their line of niches, and they are thriving. They are media influencers, they are coaches, they are speakers, they are doing a good job. But remember, I refused to fit into the box and the description of what success looked like. Anyone would have said, she's a failure, she's not heading anywhere. I remember some of my family, yes, they say now, she's not even married, she's not even this, she's not, as in people define success, they have their own definitions. And I didn't have to bend backwards to entertain their description or definition of success. So I don't want you to bend backwards and just take any definition that someone has defined that, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't earn this much money, if you don't stay in this kind of locality, if you don't drive this kind of car, if you don't have this kind of woman, if you don't have this kind of man, if you don't travel here, if you don't, as in, let me tell you, that is theirs. Okay, can you redefine success for yourself? Okay, can you not just fit into the box? We are in a generation where anyone can become anything. We are in a generation where you can grow to a widely successful person without even a degree, without any masters. You can grow widely without even capital. You can, as in, the chances for you to grow, the chances for you to break even, the chances for you to make it in this life now are bigger, more than ever. Okay, so I need you to be able to redefine your own, what is success to you. Does success mean you pursuing your purpose? Does success mean it can be that you already have a job, but maybe your definition of success is when I have to do something that I love and something that fulfills me. So on top of the job that I'm doing, I'm also going to pursue my purpose. I'm also going, and sometimes I tell people that pursue their purpose, all my mentees, that some of them have gotten to a place where they have now to switch and transition from unemployment to full-time pursuing their purpose. Okay, so you realize that everyone is doing what they are supposed to do. We're trying to plug ourselves, fit somewhere, do something, but it has to be something that you love, not something that you inherited, not something that you had from somewhere, not something that someone else is doing. Their definition of their life is different, and your definition of your life is different. It's possible that you could thrive as a media influencer, social media influencer, and maybe you're not going to thrive as a presenter. It's possible that, as in so many things. So I need you to be able to get out of your box, okay? I need you to be able to expose yourself to a world of these multiple things, find where your passion lies, or discover by doing things in the now, the things that you love to do, so that you don't just say, you know, I will attain success just like others and their definition of success. Maybe how your mother was successful is not how you're going to be successful. Theirs, they didn't need to be tech savvy in order to flourish, okay? The competences and skills desired were different. But these days, you can earn just by being a public speaker, okay? It's an information era. You can just have a YouTube channel and you will make a lot of money, okay? As in, anything is figure outable and you can do anything in this generation. So I don't need you to chase the dream of other people's success and how they define it, because it's possible you might try to move that direct line, and it's possible that that direct line is never going to take you anywhere. People are thriving as events promoters, okay? And this is where I really like, even for the people that I work with, I usually look at them, because I've told you they are quite young men, and mostly men and women, and I usually say, okay, what's their 5 years from now, what's going to look like? Because then I do personally do the recruiting. I personally, as in, I make sure that that department is well catered for. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, what's going to become of them 5 years from now? Maybe they're going to have wives, maybe they're going to have children, maybe their bills are going to be increased, maybe their bills. And what I want, and my prayer for them, though sometimes as their boss, you just don't want to go and involve yourself in their lives, what I pray for them is that they will grow as their income also grows, as they find what else they are gifted with and their passion and their purpose, and that they can be able to grow into happy husbands or happy wives with children that they can take care of, with school bills that they can take care of, while they are also mentoring others and grooming others. I would love, and I usually tell them that, you know, guys, I mean, even when you outgrow me at some point, or us at some point, I need you to be able to find you on the streets somewhere, maybe in a different country, maybe in this country, or maybe in some boardrooms, or maybe somewhere else, and you tell me that, you know what, this is my company, this is what I am currently doing, come and check out my work. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think I would even kneel and thank God and say, God, I am so thankful that while this person went through my hands, you were able to open up what their passions are and what their gifts are, and you were able to position them, and you were able to actually groom them into the people that you want them to be. And that is what I wish for everyone. That is what I wish for you, and that is why I'm here, is that when you see me, because you're not about to stop seeing me, actually you're going to see more of me as the years go by, because I'm going to be literally everywhere trying to do something to plant seeds of passion and purpose and uplift people and help them in their personal development and their personal growth. But I need you to be able to find me 5 years from now and you tell me, Bahati, your words were not in vain. God crafted goodness out of me. God crafted excellence out of me. God crafted, winning out of me. And I'm in a better place. I am, the owner of this company. Or I am the consultant in this area. Or I am the one that is doing this and this and this. And we will high five. We will even meet for coffee. And you will tell me what you have gone through the 5 years. And maybe you'll be telling me whatever you said was true. It was a moment of stretching. It was a moment of growth that was uncomfortable, but I let myself go through the discomfort so that I could get to the other side of this whole tunnel. And there is light. It is beautiful at the end of the tunnel. So I need you to tarry in there. I need you to hold on. I need you to not give up, but I need you not to chase the wrong dreams, because the moment you stop chasing the wrong dreams, you will catch up with the right dreams. But the moment you still chase the wrong dreams, that is where you're going to be exhausted. That is where you're going to get tired of people and say nakoa. That is where you're going to throw in a towel. That is where you're going to give up on life. Because you're not giving up on life, you're trying to give up on people that have hurt you. But again, you have continuously stayed in those environments. Maybe you have continuously chased after purpose, but you have designed it and said it's going to be someday. And maybe you have decided to live other people's dreams, and it is just dissatisfying, and it is not accomplishing, it's just not fulfilling, and you just feel exhausted. Now, the opposite of what we have talked about 3 dreams, the common dreams that you will regret chasing in life. One of them has been the dream of overcoming the odds in an unsupportive environment. Number 2, the dream of eventually finding your passion someday, not now, okay? And the dream of achieving success just as other people have defined it. So if you chase those 3, I will tell you without hesitation, you're going to regret it. The moment you take the route that we have talked about, the opposite route of this is when you are going to keep supercharged, is when you're going to get to experience fulfillment, it's when you're going to be alive, okay, to be alive every day of your life, the liveliness, okay, to be alive. And I need that for you, and I pray that for you. And for everyone that has listened to this message, I still pray over you. I still pray that you will have the enthusiasm to practice purpose and to do purpose and to walk in purpose and passion every single day of your life, and that you will learn when to say no to unsupportive environments and when to say yes to supportive environments, okay? When to sense that this environment I cannot grow, but to sense that, you know what, I am a tree that was planted by the waterside, that my leaves will never go dry, that I will not wither, that I will give fruit in my own season. Some of us, when we stay in bitter environments, we give birth to bitter fruit, because then we are giving birth to a fruit of frustration, disappointment, and we want to disappoint others, and we want to pull others down because we are giving the same medicine that was given to us, okay? But I pray over you that you will learn to say no, and that your yeses will be fully placed rightly in the direction of your dreams and your passion and the calling and who you are supposed to be, and that God will help you to redefine what success means to you and what your journey of success looks like. It might not look like anyone else's. It's possible that you are a pathfinder. It's possible that you're a trailblazer. It's possible no one is going to understand you. Not even your family is going to understand you. Maybe not even your spouse is going to understand you. But let me tell you, when you get to the end of being refined for this journey, everyone is going to look at you as a bright, shining diamond that they will all want to be in your corner, and they'll be celebrating your victory. I love you, and may God keep you.
Thank you for watching. Bahati comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 p.m. here on Spirit TV. Bahati, bringing you knowledge, wisdom, financial and personal growth, better relationships leading to your transformation and elevation.